Yeah, hello students. Welcome back to the lecture series on laws of motion. We'll go to lecture 7. That is basically here in this topic, I'll be dealing with what is called as frictional force, okay, or friction. Okay. So, uh, friction, as you can see, it's a property of an object, okay, that any between any two objects in contact with each other, there will be a tangential force, and the moment these two objects are in relative motion with each other, they will this tangential force will always try to object that is oppose the motion. Okay, so what do you mean by relative motion? That is when one object slides over the other, okay, or like one object is moving or the second object is moving and first is at rest, or both the objects are moving over each other, this frictional force it basically comes into play, right? So friction is a thing which we see in day to day life in every situation. Like for example, see, if I just show you a simple clip over here. So in this situation, the moment we try to rub our hands, right, the palms, the moment they try to move over each other, you have this frictional force between them which comes into play. Then whenever, say for example, tires are, say you are cycling, right, there is a frictional force between the tires and the road. Okay, you have the second type of frictional force here. Then frictional force, I'll introduce one more situation where frictional force comes. This is a type of example where we have what is called as fluid friction. Whenever any object is trying to move through a fluid, or opposing force between two fluids, like in this example we say that air also is a fluid. Okay, so the moment a person is trying to jump over, what you are seeing here in a sky jumping, so here there is a frictional force between the person and the air over there. Okay, so friction, I would say that you cannot just keep it to one particular area. It has, like, it is everywhere in nature. So this is one more example where this friction it basically comes into play. Then this is an example of rolling friction where there is a friction between the tires and the road. Okay, so here you can see that here you have what is example of a skidding friction, that one object, the person is skidding over here. Again, the balance or vehicles are able to take turns or this and not skidding or to a particular extent. Again, it basically there you have friction between the tires. Okay, then the planes are constructed that aerodynamically they are constructed in order to have a least amount of fluid friction, especially racing cars or aeroplanes, right? Then this is a very simple example and very common example that even when we are walking, there is always a friction between our feet and the ground. Okay. So this frictional force is a thing which comes into play everywhere in nature, and without friction, like you could see here, that it becomes very difficult for any object to even move also. Okay, so friction is a thing which will be there in day-to-day life. Okay, and that's what we'll just try to understand. Now, one very interesting thing about friction here is that we are able to actually find out the value of friction. And friction, I'm just not keeping as this, I'm trying to find the value of that and calling it as what is called as a frictional force. Okay, so it will also have the same unit as force, which is Newton. It will always act in the direction which opposes the relative motion between two surfaces which are in contact with each other. As you can see over in the particular diagram, that frictional force is a force which will always oppose. And the reason for this frictional force, okay, uh, as you can see the points over there, there can be many reasons for this frictional force. First is basically the surfaces. Okay, so normally you may feel that a surface is very smooth in nature, but still when you go to microscopic level, the surfaces are not as smooth as they are to be seen. Okay, but and the moment when two surfaces try to move over each other, a type of interlocking takes place between them, and then you have to apply some extra force to overcome that interlocking. Okay, I'll just show you this by a simple clip over here, that you can see that this surface over here, these are the two surfaces. Now as the diagram shows, it looks very smooth from here, but when you see microscopically over here, can you see the surfaces? They are not at all, practically they are not smooth. You have such grooves over here. Okay, and once these grooves are there, surely I can say that this surface is not particularly smooth in nature. So then, oh, then what happens now if the surfaces are not particularly smooth? Just see now. The second surface, even though it looks in this diagram, it looks smoother, but now you see the second surface. It also has grooves which are again irregular in shape, right? Now, when these two surfaces try to move over each other, okay, now as you can see, whenever they are now trying, like for example, you when you just try to move the surfaces over each other, you try to apply a force in this direction, right? And then can you see here, there is an irregular interlocking of the surfaces, okay, of these grooves over here, right? So this red arrow which here, there is automatic origin of friction which takes place, okay, and this applied force which is there, it has to overcome this interlocking between the regions. That is what you are seeing over there. So friction is basically because the surfaces are not basically what you call it as very flat or smooth, which they can be considered at microscopic level. Okay, and that is why you can see that there is a origin of friction which basically takes place. Okay, so in order to explain, just if you see the situation once again, the very important thing why friction takes place is that the surfaces are particularly not smooth. They'll be always, they'll have some grooves like this, and when the second surface also will be of the same nature, not perfectly smooth, and you can see over here interlocking will be there, and because of these interlockings which take place, the moment you try to slide one over the other, they'll get interlocked. Okay, and you have to overcome those interlocking, and those interlocking creates a frictional force, as you can see over here. Okay, and that is basically the region, or whatever is the reason for this frictional force, right? So this is why you have this frictional force which comes into play. Okay, now uh, there are so many advantages, like for example, say I want to write on a board. Okay, there has to be a friction between the chalk and the board, blackboard over there. Okay, say power transmission. So whenever, like for example, all our wheels, okay, the vehicles, you have this clutch, gears, everything, they require friction to be there. Okay, holding of objects, you cannot hold an object. Try holding an object which is actually smooth in nature, it will just fall down. Okay, walking, pedaling. So you have to think, like you just think that there are so many things where you require friction to be there. Okay, then, but there are certain things where friction basically is not required, and you have to reduce the friction. Okay, so one way of reducing the friction, as you can see over here, okay, is to basically polish the surfaces. Okay, so a good well polished surface will have lesser friction, right? If you want friction to be less, first way is that you polish the surface depending on where you require the friction to be less. Okay, we'll see the examples, that those examples also. Okay, then another way in which I can just minimize this friction is by using lubricants. Okay, you know that continuously in machines there is continuous wear tear between the different moving parts of the machine. In order to reduce that wear and tear, okay, because this frictional force which acts between them, we can use lubricants. Okay, and lubricants basically they will what, they will reduce the friction, right? Then practically we will see how this you have what is called as this ball bearings. Okay, you know that any vehicle if you take, okay, the wheels they will basically have these ball bearings over there. Okay, and these ball bearings have the work of reducing the friction between two surfaces which are rolling over each other. Okay, that is what is the work of this ball bearings, to reduce the friction, right? So next example, like you can see here, is to have a streamline, especially if you see the parts of these aeroplanes and all. Okay, they have a shape which is aerodynamic in shape. The idea there also is to reduce the friction. Okay, so friction is something which you basically want that this friction has to be reduced. So just now whatever things we discussed, like first is like the machines. Okay, you can use this lubricants to uh, to reduce the friction. Okay, then like for example when you are playing a simple game like carom. Okay, now if you want the pieces to move smoothly, right, the striker is there, the coins are there, if you want the striker to move smoothly, that powder which is there, it acts like which one, a thing which reduces the friction over there, right? Then say for example you have these hinges of the doors and all. Okay, if they don't open properly, then what do? You put this oil or this grease which is there. Okay, this grease, what it basically does, it also basically reduces the friction. Okay, so machines. Okay, so you basically depends, like where you don't want friction, you can always reduce them by using these lubricants like grease. Okay, you have this so many types of oils and all which are available. Okay, so all these things, the purpose is basically to reduce friction. And then sometimes rolling friction. Okay, there are frictions are also of various types. Okay, like if you see the example over here, right, if a person is trying to lift this bag, okay, or trying to just skid it over on the surface. Okay, it's going to just it's going to be difficult here. So if I just put small wheels to it, okay, and convert this skidding friction into which one, rolling friction, then also I can basically reduce the friction. Okay, so if you see all these examples where, like the first example where oil is poured. Okay, then in carom, like when we use this powder. Okay, so these are the different ways in which you can actually reduce the friction, right? So where sometimes it's important that friction should be there, sometimes you basically want to reduce the friction, right? So friction has a nature that uh, it has advantages also, and it has which one, disadvantages also. Okay, now what are the factors on which this frictional force depends? Okay, I'll just go to the basic thing, like what the factors can be something like this, that what is the nature of surface in contact. Okay, then what is the degree of smoothness of the surface. We try to reduce, like the more you make the surface smoother, the less will be the frictional force between them. Okay, then what is the temperature. Temperature also plays an important role. Then what is the impurities between the surfaces. You know that sometimes, no, whenever on a road sand is there, okay, oil is there, is spilled, automatically what happens, the friction between the tires and the road, that will get reduced, and there is a chance that the vehicle will basically skid. Okay, so you have some points where technically you can say that the friction is dependent on certain things, like nature of surfaces, what is the smoothness of the surface, then temperature. Okay, and the impurities which are there on the surfaces. So these are the few things basically on which friction force depends. I've used the word few things, there can be many other things also. Okay, now coming to the next important thing which we have already discussed to some extent, what are the types of friction. Okay, now here we will classify friction into maybe four different types. one is static friction. Okay, even when we are at rest, any two objects are rest, that time also there is a frictional force which is holding it. Okay, that force we call it as what is static friction. Like for example, uh, whenever an object is, say you have kept an object at a slant, okay, and the object is not coming downwards, it's because that object is holded by which one, a force of static friction between them. Okay, then whenever two objects skid over each other, not roll, okay, whenever two objects skid over each other, we have this term which is called as the kinetic friction. Then a rolling friction, a tire, our vehicles all move, the friction between the tires and the road is an example of which one, rolling friction. Okay, then you have this fluid friction which we discussed. Okay, so I can say that these are the four different types of friction. In examination you can just remember that the question which is asked is what is the types of friction, and these are the four different types of friction. One is friction when two objects are at rest. You'll not be able to move first object. Like for example, say you want to just push a table, minimum some force is required, otherwise the table is not going to move. Okay, why does the table not move is because of the friction which is having which nature, static nature. Then you have this kinetic friction, then rolling friction, and then you have this what is called as the fluid friction. Okay, so if I just show you over here, okay, if you see the example over here, right, now in this particular example, the person is like, he's trying to you have this what is called as the cycling, okay, in the exercise where, but if these 3 points they are actually at rest, okay, this part he may be cycling over here, but these 3 points are at rest, and that's why this object is complete, is in which one, is in a state of what is rest. Okay, so here there is a friction which is coming into play, and that is an example of which friction here, static friction. Okay, now you can see over here the thing which I was telling, these cars are parked over a slanted road, but still they do not tend to fall down, or they do not tend to come down over here, because the reason here is again you have the static friction which basically is coming into play between the tires and the road. Okay, so then you have an example of what is called as the kinetic friction, or what is called as the sliding friction which we call. Okay, it is the friction when two objects are moving. Now here you have, it's not at rest, it's moving here, so you have what is an example of which one, kinetic friction or a sliding friction. Even when you are trying to move on using this in a laptop, okay, you're trying to move the mouse, you have what is called as the skidding or kinetic friction here. Okay, again this is an example of what is called as a uh, kinetic friction, right? Now here what do you say is the thing, here you have a rolling friction which comes into play. Okay, when one thing rolls over the other, you have what is called as the rolling friction here, right? So you have these three different types of friction which basically come into play. One is the kinetic friction, then you have the static friction. Okay, so again I'll just repeat the things, that friction basically can be classified into four types. One is a static friction, objects at friction between objects at rest, then kinetic friction, then rolling friction, and then fluid friction. And this is how you can basically experience them like this. Now here you have this example of static friction. Okay, then in the next example here also, what is the example here? This is an example of which one? Static friction, right? Then next you have the examples of what is called as the kinetic friction, when one object is skidding over the other. Okay, so this is an example of a kinetic friction or skidding friction which we call. Okay, then the next thing, you have example of which one, here also you have the skidding friction itself. Okay, and then you have the examples of what is called as the rolling friction. Okay, And whenever objects like moving through water or through fluids, okay, that time you have the example of what is called as the fluid friction. Okay, so uh, these were the things which come under the thing that is called as the types of friction. Okay, then just if you just imagine a situation where friction would not have been there, and why we say that friction is such plays such an important role in our day-to-day life. Okay, we'll just take a simple few examples. Say this example over here. Okay, say a person is just trying to push a book towards the other person. Okay, and if the table is rough, okay, then slowly it slides and then it stops. You can just see the example over here. Okay, the person he just pushes the book, okay, and it stops. The reason it stops because of which one? Frictional force, which comes into play between the book and the table. Okay, just imagine what would have happened if friction is not there. Okay, right, correct. So the book basically it will just go on sliding over it in the absence of which one? Friction, right? Now instrument like uh violin, okay, the sound won't come, right? If you see here, the
Wilson have to
sound,
deal with friction,
okay,
but they do
sound
too.
comes because of the friction over here. Okay,
He
and
has
if
to put rosin on his bow to give it more friction,
right,
because that'll
and if the frictional
make it vibrate and produce sound. But
right,
what if there was no friction?
here, right, in the absence of this frictional force, right, in the absence of this frictional force, what do you see? That you don't get that particular sound, right? So friction has so many important situations, right? So then if you see the next example over here, okay, say a person is trying to just put a ladder. Okay, okay, if the floor is rough, the ladder will be in a stable state, as you can see in the clip over there. Okay, what if the floor is not rough? Okay, if the floor is perfectly smooth, in that situation what may happen, right? So you'll see that the static friction prevents it from slipping. Okay, and in the absence of that frictional force, if the floor is perfectly smooth, you won't be able to even keep that ladder over there. Can you see that diagram over there? Okay, so the ladder is slipping because of which one? Frictional force. Even a very simple thing like v walking, just imagine if friction is not there. Okay, now friction is there, our floors are able to get a very good grip. Okay, but in the absence of frictional force, okay, what happens? Just see there. Okay, you can just imagine, and you can just see the clip over there, that in the absence of this frictional force, okay, there is 100% chance that you are basically going to fall down. Okay, so friction is a necessary evil. That's what is the statement, right? So friction has advantages, friction has disadvantages. Wherever you don't want friction to be there, you can always reduce the friction. Okay, like without friction, just imagine, like especially you must have seen like a few clips. I'll just show you where uh, even in say during weathers, where during rainy season and all, okay, many accidents they usually takes place, okay, because the friction they get basically reduced, like you can see over here, right? The car was going smoothly, but due to rainy season or anything, right, the friction, if the friction is not there, see what can be the disasters which can take place. Okay, so here especially I told you that friction, it basically depends on the other conditions also, like temperature, what are the impurities within the surfaces. Okay, so these are so many examples which basically tell us that a friction cannot be taken lightly. Okay, it's everywhere in nature, it's necessary also, and it has some disadvantages also. Okay, So uh, wherever disadvantages are there, you should basically try to reduce the friction in those situations. But friction has advantages also, right? So in the next lecture, I'll try to actually tell you the technical points about how we can calculate the friction, how we can measure this frictional force, on what factors this frictional force depends, what are the laws of this friction. Okay, so those are the things which I will tell you. Please go through this video once, twice. Please go through the earlier videos. Okay, and the more you go through them, the more you'll understand the things, right? uh, do the assignments which are given to you, do the quiz which is there, attempt them, and you can always post them in the Google Classroom, which the assignments and all. Okay, so in the next lecture we'll continue further. Thank you.